Hi everyone, it is August the 17th. It's not Monday but Tuesday, so I decided to do it today since I was busy yesterday. And I don't know what to do with these videos. I've been thinking about it because there's been a lot of COVID, of course, the last year. I'm trying to speak less about COVID because I think it's still a lot of on people's minds, I guess. Especially if you're not living in Spain and you're traveling to Spain, so it makes sense. But I'm trying to nudge these videos over to some other topics that may be more interesting to people, pilgrim-wise, of course. So if you have ideas for videos, for topics, for things that I could do with these weekly videos, please let me know, either by emailing me or by leaving comments in the YouTube description, underneath the description of the YouTube video. What I want to do, especially now if there's more pilgrims coming, that maybe have some more conversation with people that walk into town. So that's one idea that I'm thinking of. Anyway, we're not going to get away from the COVID topic. But before we do, yesterday 1,473 pilgrims arrived. Just walking around town today, it's not as crazy as we had it around St. James Day in July, but it's there's a lot of people in town. I saw some numbers from earlier this year. 75% of pilgrims were from Spain, and 25% were from outside of Spain, and that kind of makes sense. I think that's pretty much true still. It makes sense. Many people from outside of Spain are hesitant to travel here. Some do, and I think they're having a good time. Of course, there are less people, less places to sleep, especially in the albergues and the pensions, because of course there are some places have 30% capacity due to COVID, so they can't fill up all the beds, and that makes it difficult to get the room for everyone. I drove back from north of Lugo and passed through Arzúa and Melide yesterday. That's why I didn't do the video yesterday. And I was driving through there yesterday about noon, and you could see the patches we drove through that were coinciding with the Camino. You could see a lot of people walking towards Santiago, passing Arzúa and Melide. I would say the places I saw around noon, maybe one or two pilgrims every 100 meters. So I think that's normal, because the last beach from Soria is pretty busy anyway in the summer, and especially in a whole year summer, although this is different. So, 1,473 pilgrims got to Compostela yesterday. COVID-wise, what do we have? There was I forgot to find the link. There was a thing published the other day in the it was an international organization that has a list of how many people are vaccinated in each country around the world, and I think Spain ended up on first place, as with the percentage of people with at least one shot, because right now in Spain we have 73% with at least one shot. In Spain we have 62% with two shots. In Galicia 77.5% have one shot, and 68.5% have two shots, so that's good. And actually looking at the see if I could find. Was that on the same? No, it was this one. This is the national number on the El País website, and you can see the fifth wave here. It's kind of on its way down. We're still not done with it, but it's definitely on the downward trend, which I think makes it a good. This is good news for the ones walking in September, because by the time September rolls around, I think Spain will be in a good place. If there's a sixth or seventh wave, that's another story. But the fact that it's going down mid-August, which is the craziest travel month in Spain, because everyone's on vacation, everyone's traveling around, And the fact that it's on its way down in August, I think it's good news. Just to have a look what it looks like on the various regions in Spain. We see Galicia this is the number of notified cases last 14 days per 100,000 inhabitants. 465 in Galicia, which is pretty high. We were higher, but so it's on its way down, but still. There was a map on the news yesterday or the day before that every region in Spain, it's on a downward trend COVID-wise for new infections, except Cantabria, except for Cantabria, that was going up a little bit. But these are the current numbers as of 16th, which was yesterday. So you could still see a lot of people still have COVID, mostly young people, and you could see that if you click here, I could see this is the new cases. These are the people in hospital, and you can see the hospitalizations are also moving downwards. So looking at this, I'll leave it up to you to think what you should do or what you should not do. But that's the current situation. I think if you are vaccinated and if you're careful and if you're okay with traveling, personally I would be fine. I'm planning a trip up to Norway in a few weeks, and being vaccinated, it makes me much more secure, and it makes it easier for me to say yes to doing such a trip. I think personally, at least. I guess everyone is different, but that's how I feel. And also, especially if you're going to walk outside all day, you're going to sleep in places, but if you get private rooms, you're not going to share a lot of space with a lot of people. So anyway, I leave that up to you. But I would be fine with it if it was me. If you're vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, I would hold off a little bit. But I feel I said that 100 times. Let's see what the cathedral looks like right now. This is about an hour ago on the Plaza Quintana. Queue and queue and queue. And you might think this is the queue to go to the Holy Door, but it's not. This is the queue for entering the cathedral for the Mass. At least that's what I thought. Because I was walking back from the supermarket and I wasn't actually looking that intently, but I'm thinking this is the queue for the. Well, maybe it is the Holy Door. I think the Holy Door is a bit closed off because there's a limited number of people that can be in there. Actually, these might be two queues, one for the Holy Door and one for the Mass. Either way, it's busy. It's busy, and you could see there's people in town, and it's good to see. Good to see people. Hopefully, they are taken care of with masks. Most people are wearing masks in Santiago anyway. There was a rule that we had in Galicia the last few weeks that said you had to show a certificate of vaccination to be able to go inside cafes and restaurants. That has since been cancelled by the High Court of Galicia as being not a legal law. So this is no longer in effect. Of course, you have to wear a mask, but you can go inside now without having the certificate. Anyway, hope things are good where you are. Stay safe. Talk to you next week.